In today's video, I am going to be talking you through everything that I know about grow lights. This information will help you make informed decisions when it comes to buying grow lights. I'll also be showing you some great free apps on how you can measure that light so that you know where to place them for the best results. Let's get into it. Can we just take a second just to appreciate how fucking professional that sounded? I know I've ruined it now, but fuck it, roll the tape. Right, this bit is a bit boring, but it is short, and I promise you that having a basic understanding of what I'm saying now will help with things I'll be going through soon. So, when we talk about light, there are two different parameters that we're usually referring to with a couple of different subsections. So we've got lumens and lux, and that's how we as humans perceive light. So lumens is how much light is coming from a particular source, like this one above my head. And lux is how much of that light is actually hitting its target. So in this example, how much is hitting this domino peace lily. Think of it as if you were using a dimmer switch on a light fitting. So you turn it one way, the light gets lighter and darker. That's your lumens. How much of that light is lighting up the floor or any surface in that room, that is your lux. Now, plants see things a little bit differently. They see things with PAR, which is photosynthetic active radiation, and that is the wavelengths of light within the visible range between 400 to 700 nanometers. Now, these wavelengths are what plants can see, and you may have seen an image like this when scrolling through different grow lights, and that is the light spectrum the plants need. So you've got blue light for developing a strong root structure, and up to red light for flowering. Now, most grow lights out there are full spectrum, so they have the whole range from 400 to 700 nanometers. So that's not something we really need to be worrying about massively nowadays. Okay, so what we would call lumens, plants would call photosynthetic proton flux. Photon flux, or PPF. Now, PPF measures the total amount of PAR that is produced by a light source each second. Photosynthetic photon flux density, which is PPFD, measures the amount of PAR that actually arrives at the plant. Now, there is some really complicated maths that you can use to work out PAR and then PPFD from, but I'm not going to go into that. For one, I don't think it's something you'll ever need to actually do, and two, I don't understand the maths. Good news is that's the painful bit out of the way. So why do most creators, myself included, use a lux meter and talk in terms of lux? It's simple. It's so much easier to understand. And with good quality grow lights, you'll be getting a decent amount of PAR from them anyway. All we really need to focus on after that is how far away we need to keep those lights from the plants. And I'm happy to give credit where it's due here to Well Done Sansi for putting on their images how much PAR you can expect from their bulbs. I think that's something that all companies should be doing, but they're not. Right, so how do you know how far to keep the source of light from the plant? That is where things like your lux meter can come in handy. And if you don't have one, don't worry, there's an app for everything, and that's the app in question. So by placing your phone on a flat surface, you'll be able to gauge how far away from the plant to have the light by using this handy little chart. And because I'm extra nice, I've also left a worded comment version in the pinned comments down below. So that chart is giving you a good indication of how bright different plants like it in their natural habitat. And we can do a quick Google search to find out that Monstera deliciosa likes bright indirect light. And putting all this information together, we get a plant that would be quite happy sitting at around 31 centimeters away from the grow light. Now, if you want to go the extra mile, you can invest in a PPFD meter. This will give you an even more accurate idea of how far away to place those lights, because a PPDF meter will tell you how many PAR are actually hitting that spot I don't have one because even the cheapest of these meters is out of my price range for now. I mean, I could get like 2 pretty decent Tycons for that price. Remember what I said earlier? Don't worry, there's an app for everything. Yeah, that. Well, there's one of those for that too. Now, I can't give you an honestly fair review of this app because what I'm doing is taking the reviews that other people have said on its accuracy and hoping that they're honest. Now, you'll notice there's a dial below PPDF called DLI, and that is the Daily Light Integral. Now, the Daily Light Integral is the number of protons. The DLI is the number of photons that are delivered to a specific area over a 24-hour period. Now, this app will let you customize the settings for different lights and different time periods. For example, these are 4000K LEDs, and I can add how many hours my day is, so 12 in this case because that's how long the grow lights are on for. It'll tell me how many PPFD and give me a DLI rating on how many photons are hitting my plant from my grow lights in the 12 hours. All of the reward, none of the fucking maths. Fucking yay technology. Let's talk about heat displacement. This is something that could really mess up all we've talked about before, because if your lights are just kicking out too much heat, you run the risk of leaf burn, meaning you might have the perfect placement running using PPFD and any lux at anything that you can do, but if those lights are too hot, you're going to burn the plants. It is, however, an easy fix. You just move that light further away from the plant. Your plant will receive less protons, meaning slower growth, but you will save the plant's leaves, thus making it a happier plant. Okay, so in summary, things like lux and lumens will be mentioned fairly often, and whilst they give you a really good indication of how much light your plant is getting, it is not the most accurate way of measuring it. Things like PAR, PPF and PPFD will be mentioned, but not as often, and these will give you a much more accurate, realistic interpretation of how much light your plant is getting. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the section below labeled comments, and I will answer them for as long as I can. I'm still quite a small channel, so it's fairly easy to do that at the minute. Please though, feel free to subscribe. It really helps me out and it is free to you to do.